Welcome back to Emotional Mojo. Check this out. Let your smile change the world. Don't let the world change your smile. The perfect quote for our next guest, because inquiring minds want to know, is it true a smile or a good laugh can change everything? While our guest has some insight, we have brought in internationally recognized performance psychologist, educator, speaker, and author. Woo! That is a list. Dr. Joe Pace. And you're going to discuss the yin and the yang of positive and negative thoughts.
Thank you. Pleasure
Welcome
to be here.
The show.
Pleasure to be here.
Let's start with the emotional lows, negative thoughts. What kind of toll can they take on our physical health?
Well, positive thoughts will energize us and negative thoughts will drain us. And we need to be careful because there's something called a downward spiral. When a person feels worth less, not necessarily worthless, but worth less than they did before, they're angry and hostile, and they feel a form of hopelessness. If we're not careful, that creates an inertia that causes a downward spiral.
So one emotion leads to the next.
Exactly.
Potentially really, really bad suicidal thoughts.
And leads to depression if we're not, a clinical depression and so forth. So we have to be careful of those thought patterns as they spiral down.
And how do your thoughts manifest into the physical aspects of your health falling?
Yes, it's interesting. It's psychosomatic. Its thoughts affect our physical chemistry. Research says that in just about every thought we have, positive or negative, there's some chemical being released. Yeah.
Interesting.
And that negative thoughts will weaken the immune system.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can get sick. I mean, when you are depressed or feeling just even low, that lowers your immune system and you start getting colds and flu and all of that kind of stuff,
Absolutely.
right?
And
But
it's
the
all,
negative thoughts create the stress too, and the stress affects different parts of the brain, like the vagus nerve, which causes pain in the neck, the chest, the abdomen, vomiting. So how do we stop those negative thoughts?
Yeah, the first thing is just to become conscious of them and aware that they're happening. And sometimes it takes outsiders to tell you that.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn this into positive.
Yes,
I'm starting
okay.
to feel negative over here.
So there is a solution to turn it all around. All you need to do is this. That's all I got. All right, so we walked around the studios, but what it is a good old belly laugh.
Or a cackle.
Yes. Tell
Whatever
us
you want to
the
call it.
benefits. Tell us the benefits of a belly laugh.
Yeah, it's interesting. We found in research that a 30-second belly laugh,
A genuine laugh.
yeah, it at least lasts 30 seconds.
Okay.
That you get tears in your eyes, it even hurts a little bit, and then every time you think about it, it starts all over again. A 30-second belly laugh will give you up to 3 months of physical immunity.
Really?
And how does that happen?
How?
Well, what happens is it releases dopamine in the brain, it releases adrenaline, it releases endorphins, and as a result, you just have this great feeling of well-being.
That's incredible.
So those are the feel-good chemicals in
Feel-good chemicals.
our brains, and it gives us that energy.
So what about the opposite of that? If it's, first, can we force the belly laugh?
Yes, it's interesting that if you just start laughing, the brain picks up a signal that you're happy. And from the time you were young and a baby and you first smiled or laughed, the brain's conditioned that when lips are up, you're smiling or laughing.
You could fake it till you make it.
You could tell that from the video, though, too, because we went and said, give us your best belly laugh. And they were like, okay, but then it turned into a natural laugh.
Yeah.
So what about the opposite of the belly laugh, the anger? What does that do to us?
Well, what we found is that anger is probably the worst emotion, that a 5-minute fit of anger can deplete an entire 8-hour workday for us.
Whoa.
Just drain us along with weakening the immune
What is
system.
the draining? When we use that expression draining, which came from Freud, because he talked about the
Exactly.
pressure, what are we actually draining from our body?
Yeah, I think what happens then is the draining of the endorphins, the dopamine, the adrenaline. It works in the opposite. And as a result of it, you just feel terrible.
So you gotta hang around happy people, because people will say that around here too.
For
There are
sure.
some folks who are always smiling and laughing and they're the happiest people, and then there are the ones who seem like they're in this perpetual cycle of just, worthlessness.
We call laughter the emotional contagion. I mean, we say it's contagious, but the actual term is emotional contagion because it does spread.
It does. It does. It in a good way. And if you think about it, if a 30-second belly laugh gives you up to 3 months, you have 4 good ones, you're all set for the year.
They're done.
It's like having a
Full
booster
studies.
shot.
Better than taking your vitamin C.
Right? Thank you so much, Dr. Pace.
Thank you.
We're gonna